3, 2, 1. Hi, welcome to another TerranScapes video. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the hills that I make, and for two reasons really. One is to just kind of give a fresher look that I can post on the site that shows what the hills are currently looking like. And one of the things that I just wanted to say is that my original photos are probably some of the oldest photos of the hills on, the oldest photos on the site, I should say. And now I'm just cutting them with a little bit more organic shape and rounding the edges just a little bit more to smooth that out. And it just felt like it needed a brief update. There's not a lot of radical changes, obviously, from the way I've been doing hills. They're pretty standard. But it felt like something fresher to look at might be useful to have on the site on that page. But more importantly, I had a customer recently talk to me about adding verticality to the tabletop. And he actually has a larger project that's a little bit more involved, which I'm working on with him. It may come down the pipe in a little, maybe later this year. But for the immediate sense, I realized right away that I do offer several hills that could be combined, and I've never even done this myself or really thought to do it or to mention it on the site. So what I wanted to do is give you a sense of some of the scope of what a larger hill could be created using some of the hills on the site, and then you could judge for yourself whether that's something that you'd want to have on your tabletop. I know with true line of sight now being an issue, by the way, here's a 28mm model. This is a Dark Elf bolt thrower crew just to give you a little sense of scale there for these hills. But with true line of sight coming into a lot of different gaming systems, it's nice to have the flexibility of creating a really tall structure on the table that can block line of sight from a variety of areas, or for, say, special scenarios like the watchtower scenario, where rather than people often object to having a tower, put my hands in the frame here, rather than having a tower that has to have a lot of difficulty in moving troops from, you could place a large hill and have it be a king of the hill kind of scenario. So what do I have here? This isn't meant to be long, just real quick, is I offer a larger quartered hill, a half hill, split in half. Let me slide these out of the way and move this forward just a little bit. And then a variety of smaller hills. You can get these in 1 inch, 1.5 inch. There's a small and a large size. They vary slightly in size. They're all cut to kind of fit into the foam, but with some general constraints. Small, large. So you can see that there's a little bit of difference in size there. But it's these larger hills that I suddenly realize have a lot more possibility than perhaps I'd been considering in the past. This is a hill that's split in half. So the hill could be placed at the table edges, but when it's combined, the hill measures approximately, if I remember correctly here, this measures just a pinch over 18 inches in length and has an overall width of about 10 inches or so, almost 11 in width. You could take that by itself, place a smaller hill on top. This is a 1.5 inch rise here with another, say, 1.5 inch rise, and you could have a 3 inch high hill blocking line of sight to a lot of models. Or you could add, instead of just the split hill, you can add the quartered hill beneath it. Now the quartered hill is quartered mainly for most flexibility in terms of laying it down on the table, and helps with shipping, helps with storage, and just seemed to me with a hill of this size, why not cut it up so you can use it in the most ways? So you can split it this way, and then you could have these at table edges. You could split it this way, have this at table edges, or you could just have these in the corners of your tables, which I often like. Even though the corners aren't played a lot, it really adds a lot of visual interest to just have something in the corner, because often those are really neglected for terrain because they're not as tactically important. And I just like having a little hill in the corner. It just sort of gives me the feeling that we've entered a little valley or something to fight the battle out in. The quartered hill is a large hill. It's about, I think on the site I have it listed as 20 inches long, although now I'm going to start cutting it around 22 inches, and I'll probably update the site to reflect that. 22 plus a pinch maybe, and then approximately, say, anywhere from 16 to 18 inches wide. And by doing it that size, it allows you to place, for instance, you could place 2 smaller hills on it, create an artificial valley that's already elevated, something like that. It gives you a little bit more flexibility in the kinds of terrain layouts you want to put on your table, and provides that opportunity to place, say, the split hill and then place, you know, again, another hill on top, even, although I think this one's cut just a little bit irregular. If you have the intention of stacking these, yeah, see there's a little tiny overhang here. I'd say it's about 1 centimeter or so, so it's very close fit. But if you have a specific intention of stacking these, you know, just let me know and I can make sure when I cut them that they all conform to each other. That's a very easy fix. But with something like this, you've got, let's see, 1.5, 3, 4.5, 5.5 inches high for an overall structure that measures almost 24 inches long by about 18 inches wide. So that's a really large hill and provides all sorts of different kinds of combinations for whether you want to play different kinds of scenarios, or you have really large models on the table that you want to block line of sight to, that sort of idea. And again, you know, you can always, you know, take the two halves, stack them, and then place those at the table edges and have a double tall table, maybe to put war machines on, to launch down over the table below, create an artificial valley, that sort of idea. So just give that some thought when you're taking a look on the site, that if you're really interested in changing up, just to give you a little sense of what I really mean by valley, that's what it would literally look like. That if you're interested in producing some more dramatic hillscapes on your tabletop, you know, that there are more options than just simply placing a couple extra smaller hills on the table, and that what this stacking allows is it really allows you the ability to vary up the table quite a bit more, both in height and overall expanse. And well, while I have your attention, I also thought I would just give you a quick look at some of the newest ponds that I've produced. Again, not a lot changed from what I've been doing in the past, but I figured that with the new water effect that I've been putting on the ponds, that I should maybe take at least one set of photos. Those are going to appear next to the ponds to give you just a little bit of a photographic shot of that water effect. And I also thought, since I had a whole set of 3 done at once, which is not always the case, I'd just give you a quick visualization of what the sizes of the ponds are and how they compare to each other. And, each of the ponds feature the new reflective sort of glossy, wavy look that I've been doing, and I also put in a little coloring into the bottom to kind of give it a little bit of a mottled deep blue look. And of course, you know, colors can be altered upon request, modifications can be made to what kinds of flocking that are done. You know, all of that's always a possibility as well. And if any of you have been visiting the TerranScapes website lately, you'll notice that I've temporarily closed the shopping cart just so I can catch up on some orders. I'll be reopening the store around July 10th, and if you're interested in purchasing ponds, you can start putting them in the shopping cart then. But until then, I'm just going to show you some of the things I'm working on, keep you up to date on progress, and any changes that I'm doing to the website, such as posting photos of these ponds. Anyway, thanks for taking a look at the hand video again today, and I'll be back sometime soon with another video. I got lots of things that I want to show you, so I look forward to talking to you. Hope you enjoyed it.